this is, I'm going to call it a slider box because you literally push out the foil section and then the wrap holds it together when it's pushed back in. And as you can see at the sides there's a bit of scoring on the side that helps it to bend in like so. So I used these as trophy boxes for my colleagues at work, just as part of a we have like a quarterly award thing where we allow the guys to earn some recognition. And yeah, in here went those little trophies, the ones that you get when you're like playing five-a-side when you're a kid, but the base goes in there and then it sits up in the top there. So I'm going to show you how to make this. I'm going to do it in a slightly different version. So this one, we're going to use the same paper. So this is the Brightly Gleaming Designer Series paper, and you may recognise this from last year's catalogue. It's actually a returning favourite in this year, and you can see why. It's absolutely gorgeous paper. And it's the same with the stamp set. So the stamp set carried over into the annual catalogue, so you can already get this one, and the same with the punch that we're using. So everything you're seeing this evening is already available in the catalogue, and there are no sneak peeks tonight. The only sneak peek as such is that the paper is returning. So we'll crack right on. Now, it's not going to be brilliant me putting foil under this ring light that I've got, but I'll do my best not to blind you all. So you need a piece of foil. This one's copper because the foil elements in this paper are copper as well. So we're going for a coordinating piece. So you need a piece that's 6.5 by 9.5. You also need a piece of the DSP, and this one's slightly different pattern, but as you can see it's still got foiling throughout the design. Because of the width of this, you can get, I think it's about 4 from a sheet of 12 by 12. So this is 11.5 by 2.25 inches. And we're going to start with the scoring of the foil first. So grab my scoring tool, and we're going to start on the long side like normal. So we're going to score at 2.25, and try not to score too hard on foil, otherwise it does crack. And I'll show you here. So I don't know how well you're seeing that. Slide it out a bit. You can see here I probably scored a little too hard and I've caused it to crack ever so slightly. So first score 2.25, then it's 4.5, 6.75 and 9. And then we're going to turn it to the short side and score this at 2.25, and try not to jump the track like I just did. 2.25 and 3.25. And then if we bring this back to the long side, we have to do some part scores as well. So at 3 3/8, so that's here, we're just going to score just over halfway down, and then again at 7 7/8. And that'll just help the card to bend in when it comes to this funky little side that we've got going here. Let's pop this away. And then again with the burnishing, while you still want to have a decent fold, you don't want to do it too hard, because again you don't want to crack the foil. And as long as you've not scored too hard, that should be okay. And then we'll score these lines as well. And that's all the scoring. So I'm going to start with the 1/2 inch strip on the right, and I'm just going to ever so slightly mitre this join here, and we're going to take this bottom rectangle off completely, like so. We're then going to, these lines here, we're going to cut straight up them to this first horizontal line, and this will create our tabs on the bottom. And these are going to give it a sturdy base because I'm going to leave them as whole as possible. Because I put trophies in them, the 4 layers of foil, which is a quite thick card, gave it that sturdy base that it needed. So if I put that around like so, this one is that the front? No, it's not the front. That one's the front. So we leave that one as a full square, and we're going to mitre in the other 3 just ever so slightly. So I'm going to take a tiny bit off the end, and then I'm going to ever so slightly wedge these sides, and that's just so we get that nicer fit and the tabs aren't all fighting with one another to fit properly. So a bit off the side, a bit off this side too, a bit off the end, just a whisper off the end, you don't need much off. And then the same with this one. And then the template for your box should look like so. So we can now put this together. Because of it being quite a thick card, I'm going to use my Seal Plus tape runner. So if we go down this tab here that we left, which is purposely left to be our little adhesive flap, we're then going to fold that over, and as long as we scored it correctly, that will meet perfectly. And there you go, you can see it coming together. So now you need some adhesive on the front flap, which is the one that's still a full square. So we'll pop those in on that one, and then put as much glue as we can on here just to make sure it all sticks together if we put something weighty in there. Like so. And then just line that up. And then just to make sure it's all stuck, I like to just run something along the bottom inside. And then on the sides, we've got those 2 score lines that we partially made. We're just going to press it in on those lines like so, so that the card knows what it's doing. And that's the inner part. So for the outer part, there's no scoring. All we're going to do is take a small part of the end, and I'd say about 1/2 inch. So you can score it if you want to. I'm not going to because I'm being lazy. So there's my 1/2 inch. And then this is going to be our little hook at the bottom here. So it just hooks on, and then we feed it round. And we don't need the scoring because we want to hook it over comfortably but not too tight. And I found that if you score them, they tend to be too tight. And there we go. So I'm just going to give that a press there. And then what I am going to do is I will just give that a little bit of reinforcement just because it's at the front there. But not the top one, because the top one's the one that we want to just be loose. So I'm just going to bit of a press. And there, so now that 1/2 inch strip that we first folded just needs a bit of glue on it. And then bringing the foil back in, we're going to put that join at the back. And what I prefer to do is just squash this down whilst I'm gluing the front on. And that just makes life a bit easier, you're not tussling as much. And stick it straight. And there we go, that's on nicely. So there's the 2 so far. So now we're going to decorate them in the same way. So a piece of, I don't know if I've left any out for me to use. No, I've got my foil and I've got a piece of, why I haven't got any vanilla anywhere. Let's have a look. Just grab a piece of vanilla. Thankfully, I have all my scraps sorted by colour. I can just grab a vanilla from the side. So we're using 2 punches. We've got the pine tree punch, and this is going to just have a copper punch out, like so. And then the other one is a timeless label. Just turn it over, pop it out of my way before I lose it. So, bit of stamping. We're going to be using the Perfectly Plaid stamp set. And as I say, this carried over into the annual catalogue from last year's mini catalogue, which is great because I loved it. I'm going to mount this onto a C block, like so. It's just started thundering outside, so if you hear that rumbling, I promise it's not my stomach, it is the thunder outside. So one of those there, like so, and I'm using Night of Navy because that's the colour that's in the DSP, and then timeless label around that, like so, making sure it's centred and straight. There we go. Pop those out of the way. Right, okay, so we can pop these on. So I'm using some dimensionals. Did I put dimensionals on that? No, I am on this one. So dimensionals underneath and 2 underneath the tree as well, like so. And then, which is my good side? That one. So in the middle there, like so. And then this one at the bottom. Down here. Get it centred and straight. And then there's just one more thing, and this is bow tying on camera. So this is one of the 3 ribbons from the Playing with Patterns combo pack. So this is the Night of Navy to match the ink and the paper. So we're gonna demonstrate a bunny ear bow. So I like to get 2 bunny ears, like so, over one another and through, and then I can play with my hat till my heart's content over the shape of the bow itself, like that. And then I don't want it too big because it's not really going on a big tree. The tree is quite small that it's going on. See if I can twist that round. Nope, we've got a kink in it. We'll start again. It's a good thing I didn't say that this way never fails, isn't it? There we go. So trim that off. That rain's really coming down now. I got in the house just in time. I've been at the coast today and I'd literally got in 15 minutes before I started this live, and I was panicking a little bit as to whether I was going to actually be on time. No, Debbie, yes. We haven't quite missed it. It will be saved to my page. I save all of them. It will also be uploaded to my YouTube, which is a valid point. If anyone who sees this, I would really appreciate you just following my YouTube as well. And that's purely because at the moment it's a bit lonely over there. My videos are now starting to ramp up, so there will be lots more content being put on there. And there we go. That's the two. Which one do you prefer? So there's the geometric Night of Navy and copper, or there's the Night of Navy, Pretty Peacock and copper design. I think I prefer the geometric. I like them both though, to be fair. I got in here to see the bow tying. Oh, that's the most important bit, the bow tying. So, bit of housekeeping stuff. These will be on my blog tomorrow, so all the products used, measurements and everything will be over there tomorrow morning. The video will be uploaded as part of that, so that will be live tomorrow as well. You can also capture it as soon as I hit a save on it this evening. I have sent the mini catalogues out, so those of you who have shopped with me in the past couple of months, you will have received a complimentary copy in the post, along with a little gift from myself just to thank you for your custom in the past. Bonus codes, they're almost ending. We've got a couple of days left. Any codes that you earn in that time will then be able to be redeemed from the 4th of August, which is also a new catalogue day. So double whammy. So that's every £45 you will get 10% back. So just to go through that a little bit more, it's not £45 and it stops. If you spend £90 you'll get 2, if you spend £135 you'll get 3, and so on, and there's no limit. So you'll keep getting 1 for every £45 multiple you spend between now and I believe it's the evening of the 3rd at about 10:50 PM if I'm right. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong there. And yes, you can then redeem them straight away from the 4th. As soon as that catalogue launches, you pop those codes in that are emailed to yourself and you'll get that redemption. And I think that is about it. You will see me next week. I can't remember what I put on the live for next week. Oh, I do remember. So I will be sharing an inky technique next week, an emboss resist technique. My daughter and I have been making a couple of cards with the Freezing Fun dies and stamp set, and we've also incorporated the Snowflake Wishes. They're all products in the new catalogue. I'll put a sneak peek on my Facebook over this weekend so you can see what's upcoming. But yes, it's an emboss resist. We're going to be inking up a background with the snowflakes so that we can put the penguins and such on the front. Right, okay, that's me for this evening. It's a bit of a short one, but I hope you all have a good weekend, and I will see you all next Friday. If you have any queries, please just drop them to my inbox and I'll try my best to get back to you as soon as possible. Right, have a good evening. Bye.